Hello and welcome to Friday. It's 6:50 in the morning, and we're out and about doing our morning walk because I finally feel good enough and I woke up early enough to do it. Because yesterday I woke up at 9, and the day before like 11, and the day before that was 9. So yeah, we're up and about doing our thing, and it's not been the greatest idea because I'm doing it with the wrist weights, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I might just cut it short, and we'll see where that goes. But gotta make a run to the grocery store in a little bit, so hopefully I can do it before it rains, and that's gonna be happening very soon. So gotta be careful. It's been an interesting day so far, and it's pretty late, so let me catch you up. Woke up pretty early, did my morning walk, and then went to the grocery store. Got a few things that we needed because my mom wanted to make nachos. So got cheese, got avocados, and there was something else. There was something else that I'm forgetting. Cheese, avocados, what else did we put on top of those things? Either way, throughout the day, just waited. Oh, my brother wanted steak, that was it. So, did all that. Throughout the day, kept it pretty chill, low-key. Didn't really do too much. I did have important stuff to do, which I can't really talk about right now, but don't worry. We'll get to that in the future. But yeah, for this afternoon, spent a little bit of time cooking. Made some refried beans for the first time. Pretty cool. Taste came out pretty good, and yeah, and how would I make it in the future? And you know, I can definitely make it better than I did today, but it's always a learning experience the first time. After that, I'm not so sure where we went exactly, but nachos came out great, and yeah, tomorrow's gonna be gyros, or gyros rather. Gonna have some fun with that, so that'll be tomorrow. But today I wanted to talk about something kind of important. Today's what, the 6th day of the year, and yesterday I finished reading a book, which is kind of impressive because, well, resolutions are always to read more and whatnot, but I didn't think I'd be reading 2 books so quickly back to back. So I'm going to talk about them. About 2 books that I read this year so far, which is Make Time and Atomic Habits. So I'll be making time for Atomic Habits this year. And yeah, these 2 books, really great books. Atomic Habits, insanely good. Definitely worth a read, and I'll be recapping it here. Make Time is okay. It's very good. If you're struggling to this is more about work-life balance. Atomic Habits about daily life. But yeah, I'm gonna briefly summarize what do you call it? Atomic Habits real quick. So Atomic Habits is a book by James Clear about, well, it says it right there, tiny changes, remarkable results. The atomic in this refers to very small things that you're doing in your everyday life that you want to change, that you want to be better at or stop doing. For example, for me, I definitely want to start getting back to the gym or lifting weights more. And the way to do that is, if it works for me, if it works for you, just jumping into something and you can stick with it, by all means go ahead. But for most people, habits are slow to develop. You need to do something very small first. One of the examples is if you want to start running more or going for more walks, go for a 1 or 2 minute walk and then stop, and then repeat that day after day. And then eventually, you'll just get into the habit of doing that. Soon you'll be going for longer walks, you'll be doing things like that. And, that could apply to a lot of things. If you want to write more, write for a couple minutes. If you want to read more, read for a couple minutes. You can do like minute bursts of focus on whatever you want to accomplish and spin that into a habit. It also talks about another term, friction. How hard is it for you to accomplish something? What's getting in the way? If, let's say, you want to eat healthier, one of the things that you can do to reduce friction would be to buy a bunch of healthier food. So instead of like stocking your fridge with stuff you normally do, give yourself more readily access to healthier food. Instead of having snacks on the counter, like, chips or whatever, have some fruit out. Things like that. Make it easy for you to accomplish what you're going to accomplish. And it's just like a great kind of like self-help book about how to accomplish and build habits that you want to do. Even for bad habits like smoking, if you want to break that, make it harder for you to do such a thing. You don't have to quit immediately, like cold turkey, but the best way to go about doing it is maybe you could have a pack of cigarettes in your wherever you keep them normally, but forget your lighter. Make it harder, like purposely do not bring your lighter with you. You would have to go out of your way to ask somebody for a light, which, happens on occasion, but more often than not, most people aren't really going to have a lighter if you just find them walking across the street or whatever. Only if they're another smoker. And, it's a little something to be like, hey, it's a bit harder for me. Or, you can do the opposite. Have a lighter and not bring your smokes. Either way, it's trying to build a habit. One of the really cool things that I learned was like the kind of ability to say like, oh, what was it? Like, when if you're trying to quit drinking, one of the things that they were saying, it's like, oh, sorry, I'm trying to stop drinking alcohol, instead of like, I'm trying to stop. You want to put yourself into the mindset of like, oh, I don't drink. It's a very small change, but telling yourself that you're like, oh, instead of trying to do something, you're like, no, I am doing this. It's a very small change that will kind of help with that. The other book that I read was Make Time by Jake Knapp and John Zeratsky. And this is all about, how do I do this? This book is all about kind of just like striking that work-life balance. It's great in some aspects, like definitely helps with like trying to plan your day around work. But one of these things that I was really interested in was a little bit on the topic of infinity pools. An infinity pool is basically something that you can easily get sucked into, that there's no real stop to. Basically any social media app, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, things like that. And anything that you can like pick up and just like doom scroll for hours and hours makes you realize that it's kind of pointless. And that time could be used better elsewhere. Or if you're trying to, if you allocate your time more wisely, or you can cut that out, things like that. And they go on to talk about like how TV have affected their lives, how at work trying to like schedule things properly instead of having things scheduled like down to the minute. Maybe that can be helpful in some cases, maybe it can't. How like one of their incredibly versatile bosses would always block off his morning and schedule it for him and only himself. And like if somebody tried to overlap that schedule, because I think he started working at 11, um, he would just say, "No, I'm busy. I have something else planned." Something as simple as that, like trying to allocate time for yourself and trying to use that time more wisely. Like I feel like I can accomplish a lot more, and these are really quick reads. Um, like I said, I read Atomic Habits by accident the other day. I picked it up New Year's Day, like 10 p.m. after I finished recording, and then by 10 a.m. the next morning I was done with it. And then Make Time took a little bit longer, but yeah, it took like 3 days, and I finished it yesterday, I believe. Really good stuff, and yeah, I feel like I can definitely read and accomplish more, and like set aside a lot more time and do what I want to do now. It's surprising how that works out. Sorry for the cut there. I didn't realize that the battery on this camera was so low. But hey, I was pretty much wrapping up what I was talking about. These are great books. There's another book that I wanted to read. I believe it's called Do Nothing, and I'll probably be reading that tomorrow. One of the things I wanted to do is actually buy the books that I read, because I normally read them on my phone, and there's a great app called Libby that allows you to just use your local library to lend books directly to your phone, and you get digital copies or whatever. Or you can just use whatever what do you call it, app that allows you to download whatever book. But I feel it's nice to have a physical copy, and I really would love to see a physical representation of books that I've read this year and see how high I can get that stack. Seems like it'd be a lot of fun to do, so that's something that I plan on doing this year, and hopefully I can manage. Either way, I think that's what I'm gonna call it for today. It's been a good day, and should probably get to sleep if I want to get up early enough to go for a walk tomorrow, so that's what I'm gonna call it for today. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow, and until then, later.